Welcome to my YouTube channel. So go whoa whoa, I'd like to call it. Someone's gotta work. And there's a reason for that. We live in a time where people, you see it all the time on the internet, they are trying so hard to get out of work, and they'll work their butts off to avoid work. It makes no logical sense. So I'm here to promote operating heavy equipment, being in the trades, things that you're going to do with your hands. But you do very important things. You make the world go round and round the way it's supposed to. All those highways that are built, all those buildings that are built, all those new homes that are built they just wouldn't exist without people like us. And so that's what I want to talk about. You clicked on the link to see the 4 ways of becoming an equipment operator, or how you might be better equipped to become an equipment operator. This video is not about technical skill on the machine. I'll get into that later. This is 4 simple things that I want to talk about when you want to work in this industry. Gonna need a little rum to go with that. That's good stuff right there. You're gonna mess up, and that's okay. Everybody does it. And I'm gonna tell you a quick story to let you know I've been around this stuff for many years. I've messed up more times than I care to admit. But this story is quick. I flopped a dozer on its side one time right after lunch. Had just finished lunch with a very good friend of mine who's long since passed, Herbie Giroux. And we were just finished lunch and having a good time and joking and stuff. And I went back to work. So did he. And I was digging a trench, pushing the material up to him. He was on an excavator, I was on the dozer. I backed up and I thought I had cleared my trench, and I cranked the tiller bar over, and I did not clear my trench. I started immediately to tip over on my side, and I knew I was going to go over on my side. So I just hit the brake and I killed the throttle, because on that dozer it was a 7H, so it was a hand throttle to shut it off. The dozer slowly flopped over onto its side, and that was that. It did spill a little bit of fuel, which we cleaned up later with the appropriate measures. My point is, nothing was hurt except for my pride. And Herbie Drew, till the day he passed, teased me about it. And I took it because it was my doing. I teased Herbie on another job we worked on together. I like to tease him, he dipped the back end of his excavator into a pond and completely swamped it. So it happens. He had been operating equipment for 40 years when that happened. It happens. So that's my point. So 4 things that you're going to need to have or do to become an equipment operator. First one, you're going to need a bit of a tough skin. And I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from it, but you need to be able to take a little bit of grief from people. There's a reason for it though. One, this job can be very dangerous. You're working with heavy equipment and lots of it, and people are all around you. So if you aren't paying attention, and if you aren't acute to listening to someone maybe yell at you, and the first thing you do is just ignore it, I'm not, like, screw you, I'm not listening to that guy. That yell could be to save your life or someone else's. That ultimately is what it's most likely about. So you got to be able to take those kinds of things. I don't have a teleprompter, so I'm looking at my notes. You're going to have to be able to work some longer hours, and that's just par for the course. It's seasonal work. We cannot get compaction with dirt and those types of materials in the wintertime, especially in Canadian wintertime when it freezes below the ground. It can freeze up to 3 meters, actually up to 4 meters below ground in some places in Canada. So there is no compaction. It's frozen. So my point is, you have about an 8-month window that you're going to be working your butt off. Now, you don't have to work those 8 months. If you're smart, and I'm going to encourage you later on in other videos that I bring up, I'll show you actually how, or maybe some ways to look at to do with your finances because of the money you're making. But in this video, you're going to have to understand, and I'm going to take a quick drink of rum because it's good stuff, that longer days, that's just necessary. You might have to work 12, 14 hours a day, possibly even 7 days a week. Most laws, well, as far as I know, the law is 21 days now without maximum, without a day off. So yeah, you could go 21 days and 14 hours a day. But guess what? If you're making $35 an hour, say, I don't know what the wage would be, but let's just take 35. And you times that by 14 hours a day for 21 days straight. That's a lot of bank, my friend. And that's good money. And there's lots of things you can do with that good money. Oh, and by the way, you're helping to make the world a better place. Number 3, you need to have a good attitude, especially if you're new to it and younger. You have to be willing to learn from the older people in the trade. It's that simple. Why beat your head against the wall because you know what's best? Why? That just makes no logical sense to me. When I first started, the couple of things I did, which you may or may not have to do, which still happens a lot in this line of work. I went to camp, though, when the camps were quite a bit different. So the first 3 people that I always tried to show respect were the cooks, the campies, and the elderly people that I was working with, because it made my life so much easier. Those older people would go to bat for me because I treated them with respect, and I listened to the advice they gave me. Very simple. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a long time. Don't try to do things the hard way. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. You might think, oh, well, this is going to be way easier. Why would I do it that way? Because they've already tried it that way. And they've tried it 10,000 other ways. And they know what works and what doesn't work. Listen. And fourthly, and this kind of goes in with the last one, be willing to go that little extra mile. It'll go so much better for you. I'm not going to lie. It'll go so much better for you if you just want to. Don't be that person like 5 minutes to the machine is being shut down and you're jumping out the door. Like, go right to the end. You're being paid. Where else are you going to go? Like, you're already working long days. So what's another 5 minutes? My point is, the people in charge, whether, they're just directly in charge of you or the ones way up, will notice it. And trust me, they will. And it won't take long and you'll start bumping up. Nothing is better than a good attitude. And I'm telling you that right now. You could take the best operator in the world with a shitty attitude and they'll be just barely treading water. You take a young, willing and eager and happy to be there person that doesn't know shit, I guarantee you their supervisors will notice that and they will reward that. And you will escalate over that experienced operator in no time at all. And that's because of your attitude. It's very simple. I mean, it's just a simple thing in life, really. But if you're just there to take, you're going to get taken. You need to be there to give, and then you'll be given back. These are just a few points that I wanted to bring to you. I'm not going to do the usual rigmarole about stamping and subscribing and all that. If you like what you hear, great. If not, I don't know. Tell your friends. Whether you love me or hate me, tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think or what you'd like to hear more about regarding this type of stuff, though. So by all means, put that in the comments because I want to hear from you guys what it is you'd like me to talk about next, or what you would, if there's something you'd like to know about heavy equipment or the trades. I am here to give, because that's the best way to be, quite honestly. Be a giver. Don't be a taker. Nobody wants a taker. All right. We'll see you on the next one.